Hey everyone, this is Brass Herald coming again with Call of Juarez, and today I am correcting an issue that I have apparently had so far in this LP. Uh, the default mode to turn on Call of Juarez in Steam is not DirectX 10, it's DirectX 9.
It is
So I'm showing off
indeed
today what
disappointing
DirectX
that your
10 looks
fellow
like with the
citizens
shortest
prefer the
level
pleasures of
in
the
the game.
flesh to the spiritual
And I'm
salvation
not going to show you
offered
guys
by
the whole
his
cutscene. You've seen it
sanctuary.
already. You saw it
In vain.
2 weeks ago now, I guess, if you're watching this when it comes out. So, yeah, you guys know what happens. He's running to the farm. And, you know, I do have to say it looks somewhat better with DirectX 10, of course. But the main playthrough I'm just going to go with, we are seeing it as someone who did not have an optimized computer back in 2006 would have seen. And here, with 60 seconds left, I decided to show off some of the scenery. I will say, DirectX 9 or DirectX 10, it looks pretty good with that scenery. But there's not a huge enough difference for me to go back and re-record it. I see some improvements, but we'll also see later it doesn't look all that much better.
Billy.
I still find this whole level to be a little ridiculous. Also, the recording in general, Fraps does record at a slightly lower quality than I play in. But you can still also see that these doors' textures look better as you get further away from them. Which is... I don't like it. But I will give them this. From a distance, the character models are nicer. So, I guess that's somewhat of an achievement. And that's about all I can say. I mean, it's really not a huge difference. There are some noticeable improvements. Just nothing that really makes it so much better. What we'll see later on, though, is the issues come up that Haberman actually pointed out to me in his thread for the Call of Juarez, the Cartel, that there are some issues where the characters actually look worse in some ways if you do them in DirectX 10. In the same way, I'm gonna show that off later on, of course. And that's about it. You guys have seen all this before, so I can't even talk about the gameplay here.
You come back here!
I'm gonna just let him chase, and you also get to see me really mess around with rocks and get stuck. Last time you got to see me kick the rocks, I am not very good with rocks in general. Rocks are not fun. So, yeah, we're actually nearing the end of this already, of course. We have...
Billy.
He looks at Billy,
What have you
know, from a distance. It definitely looked nicer in-game from a distance, but, you know, that's just the recording in general. I'm unable to make my recordings any better because Fraps just... It takes up too much space if I record it too high quality, to be honest. And here you will see my main issue with DirectX 10. And I think it shows up in a lot of the gritty games, like the modern gritty sort of games, and this one's not modern.
What are you doing? Have you no shame?
There it is. You can't see it as well in this recording, but anytime you have light on people's faces, actually that one's pretty good. Anytime you have light on people's faces, they look almost like an aluminum toy, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what those were, but I seem to remember some aluminum soldiers from a while ago, and that's what they look like when you get light going onto their faces. And here, I believe I pulled off the combo there. So, I'm correcting things all over. And I tried to throw a boot at him. I guess boots are not a usable weapon in this game, though. So, not much to say about fist fighting. We're gonna see more of that later on too. But I did try to stun them with the Bible, as has been mentioned. And it didn't work. I don't know if you can't stun these guys or if it just never works for me. I don't know. But anyway, that's about the end of this. Thank you to your evil twin for pointing out my ignorance. And I'll see you guys on the next story update. Hopefully, you won't be too upset with me for these mistakes. Back with Call of Juarez the way a not totally rich person would see it.
How could you let this happen? Help me, Lord, please. Tell me, what do you want from me?